the Folk is not and should not be viewed as a news source. Any names, places, or likenesses mentioned are purely fictional, and any information discussed is purely speculative. Guest opinions are their own and do not reflect those of anyone else. Where in the Folk is not responsible for content accuracy of any stories that are told or what people do with these stories. This show is vulgar, sometimes graphic, and due to its content, it should not be viewed by anyone actually.
Welcome to another episode of Where in the Folk. I hope everybody's had a great week. And Merry Folking Christmas coming up to you. Or Happy Folking Holidays, whichever one you prefer.
You didn't like Simulation Santa? Simulation Santa at the end?
It was nice. It was nice, totally. So today we're just going to be covering one topic. But before we get started and get into everything, I do want to cover one crazy thing that's happened recently. I don't remember if we talked about last week though, because I got horrible short-term memory. Hey,
Linda.
Hey,
Abe.
So this is crazy. It's truly almost a horrifying situation. Do you like guacamole?
That's not what I was expecting you to say.
So in Texas,
I do like guacamole.
And I've got 20 people coming for Mexican tomorrow.
so recently in Texas, the Texas police uncovered a delicious and unexpected surprise during a recent traffic stop. This comes from Charon, Chron. After learning of a cargo theft reported by the Laredo Police Department, the Hill County Sheriff's Office was notified on December 13th that an 18-wheeler believed to be connected to the crime was in the area. The Hill County Sheriff's Department and Texas DPS trooper found a semi-truck with a description license plate matching the report traveling north on Interstate 35. The truck was then pulled over, and what was in the truck, you may ask? 34,000 avocados. So somebody had stole 34,000 avocados.
Wow.
They said that they believe it's the biggest in history of any stolen avocado ring there's ever been. So the Laredo Police Department requested that the driver be released, and the tens of thousands of stolen avocados were held in a refrigerator tray, then transported back. I don't know what the intention was behind stealing 34,000 avocados.
I mean, that's probably big money. I don't know how much. I mean, you think about avocados at the store, they're not that cheap. So I'm sure if you had 34,000 of them and had somebody to sell them to, you could probably get a pretty penny.
So people's trading avocados like cocaine. I got 34,000 avocados, brother.
That's $20,000 worth of avocados at the big box store.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah. Today. But I mean, that's still, that's not change. I mean, I'd take 20,400.
So this guy stole the truck. Is that what we're saying? He stole the avocado truck.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. He must have. What? Imagine if he thought, like, oh man, look at all these electronics. He stole the truck and he popped open the back, like, what the fuck?
That's it. He got the tag number wrong by one digit. He's dyslexic.
Yeah.
And he thought he had the TVs and he had the avocados.
And Morgana, something like it kicked you off for a second. You're back now, but your screen's black.
My screen is black.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It happens.
So it looks okay.
But I also had something not UFO related before we get into the UFO UAP debacle. Did you guys hear that the whistleblower from OpenAI got killed?
Yes, I heard that.
It's unfortunate because he talked about like all of the horrors that are going on behind the scenes with the next AI model that they're working on. Apparently that thing's scary. You would think we would solve some of our problems like infrastructure, like dangerous bridges across America before we destroy everything with artificial intelligence and robots. But that is not looking to be the case.
I did hear that somebody high up in the industry is recommending that we replace all of our fighter pilots with drones.
Yeah, you remember?
Yeah.
You remember? Like the Skunk Works is working on the artificial intelligence fighter jets.
Right. Well, yeah, this is a member of our new Doge department was being interviewed the other day, and that was one of his big things is, we could save our pilots, and it's okay if we,
the problem
take off.
is when they were doing these tests at General Dynamics and quote unquote automated fighter jets, they were struggling to train them to not, have collateral damage.
Right, and that was the comment was, yeah, there'll be some collateral damage, but we'll save our pilots. And I'm like, and he was not talking about, he was doing the swarm thing. That's what he wants to see happen, is the swarms of the drones going in and taking out the enemy. And, if anybody else happens to be in the way, oh well.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings because, I mean, you've seen what China has as far as in the way of drones. Like, I think we definitely need to have something as like some sort of retaliatory.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree
defense.
with that, but I do definitely feel like you are taking a huge chance with collateral damage.
For sure.
And
I don't know about putting AI out there with our soldiers on the battlefield because I don't think that they're going to choose like our best interest because it's not true AI. Like it's an algorithm at this point anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, like I said, it's when it's doing its own thing a lot of times, because we've seen where they develop their own language and we're speaking to each other and had to be unplugged and all that.
Yes.
It's getting too smart too fast for that kind of stuff to me. Yeah, definitely need to have something like back in the background working on it, but I don't think we should just jump in and pull all of our pilots and go, drones.
I agree. Yeah. I'm with you.
Not until we have some sanity, in this. Good God.
Yeah, it's still, you're still on the struggle bus.
It happens.
But sometimes I have to go into settings and drop it down and select it manually.
Yeah,
drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
I guess given the time that we have, we probably need to get into UFOs.
UFOs or drones.
Drones, UFOs. People have been seeing orbs. And by people, I'm also included in that demographic. I just don't have the video handy tonight.
I can get the photos.
We did see, if you want to get the photos, it looks very similar to the stuff that people are seeing across America. So if you haven't been living behind a rock, or if you have been living behind a rock, there have been tons of UFO sightings and orb sightings and drone sightings over the last couple of weeks. We just wanted to kind of dive into some of the possibilities of what might be happening. But a flashback article that I brought this is from 2022. The headline was U.S. Navy laser creates plasma UFOs. And the article reads that the U.S. Navy has patented technology to create mid-air images to full infrared and other sensors. This builds on many years of laser plasma research and offer game-changing methods to protect aircraft from heat-seeking missiles. It may also provide a clue about the source of some of the recent UFO sightings by military aircraft. The U.S. developed the first Sidewinder heat-seeking missile back in the 1950s, and the latest aim, again, this is from 2022, was to try to confuse those missiles. But basically, I mean, this isn't new, is what I wanted to point out. They were talking 2 years ago about plasma UFOs. A lot of these articles, though, fly way under the radar because of, usually what mainstream news is talking about. As if you tune in regularly to us, you will know just on the articles that we bring every week that, there's a ton of stuff that flies under the radar. That's the whole point of what we do. But one thing that I wanted to show, let me see if I can screen share here. So it seems like, go ahead.
Don't they sometimes use glitter to throw off radar and all that stuff?
Yeah.
The U.S. military is like the largest purchaser of glitter in the country.
Yes, definitely radar chafing.
That's the reason that UFOs are never spotted above strip clubs.
So I just wanted to point out, so this is the New Fork map for UFO sightings. And I just wanted to point out, like, so you see there's not really any red through China, Russia, a little bit in the Philippines, Australia, around their big cities, you have some. But then if you go into quote unquote Western civilizations, so there's a lot here compared to the other places. But then let's look at America. So America has a ton, like you can tell that it's just completely red, especially in the, as of late, in the eastern part of the United States, just a ton of sightings. And it was curious to me when I was looking through this that, I don't think it's a coincidence that, considering our military and our top secret programs that we have and all of the whistleblowers that have come out over the years, that it is, quote unquote, Western civilizations that are having the most problems with UFOs, UAPs, and orbs and drones. You've had people come out over the years. I hate to even bring up his name, but Bob Lazar, even though he may be also controlled opposition, I have mixed feelings on him.
I do too. I mean, it's one of those things. Maybe he came out to where, he came out so publicly that they couldn't really do anything about it. But still, I mean, we've seen time and time again that they're always doing stuff about people coming out publicly. So he's one of those ones that I'm always sketched about.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's what I'm getting at, is like people usually don't even make it. I mean, just like the whistleblower for OpenAI, he made it 2 months.
So do you think that some of this, by no means not all of it, but some of this is possible that people in some of those countries with their governments being what they are don't talk about it, or they keep it kind of under wraps? Like I said, not all of it, but some of it, because they're just so secretive about anybody knowing what's going on in some of those countries.
Yeah, but even Canada, Canada doesn't have anywhere near the amount of reported sightings that we have. Very few. I think it's a little bit of both, like probably government entities with a chokehold on reports, but also, we also have the largest military in the world, technology-wise especially.
Yep.
So, I think it's a little bit of both. I think where are you going to test your new technology is part of this. And the other part is the ability to report. We have a lot more free speech than a lot of places do.
Right. Well, and there are some places that, the government controls the news and everything else. So, I mean, it's possible that people are reporting. Or like I said, at a certain point, you get scared and say, yeah, I'm just not going to say anything because I don't want their, interest on me.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's just the question that I wanted to pose to the crowd tonight is, why would aliens or drones or plasma balls be that biased that you would only see them to that degree in the United States? And I think that's kind of going to be a theme here, is there's a lot of contradictions that they're making in regards to this stuff, they're basically doing everything except saying it's us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, the way that's going and the map and everything, it's in our military industrial complex, the way that it is and the funding that it gets, it's highly likely that these things could be us, honestly. But
I think it's probably a 100% chance that the drones are us. Like,
yeah, we actually have a viewer submitted video from Easy Mac, our good buddy Easy Mac. He said Easy Mac states that they recorded this. It's on Rumble. If you want to go check out their channel, this is a drone that they got, and they are nowhere near New Jersey. Let's see. Let me share the screen. I'm doing things a little different today. Let's go ahead and take a look. I haven't watched this yet, so Easy Mac, if you're showing something inappropriate, it's not been previewed. So let's take a look.
Views of the guests are not necessarily the views of Where
Yeah.
the Fold.
yeah, exactly.
But let's take a look at it and see what's going on with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Definitely drone-like. Yeah. Very weird.
Wow.
I mean, even if that is a drone, it's spooky that would be flying over your house.
Yeah. And I removed the wrong person. But I mean, this is still kind of crazy. Like, these are all over the United States.
Yeah.
I really want to show Tully's, but for some reason, I've attempted to email it to myself, and the email files are corrupted.
Well,
And I have a direct connection to my iCloud on my computer, which is usually instantaneous, and it still is not popping up.
yeah, and I can describe what happened. So I'm kind of a night owl, and I was letting our dogs out. It was probably 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I opened the door, and I'm just looking up at the tree line, like the sky, while they're doing their business, and I noticed an orb that's bigger than the North Star but smaller than the moon in the sky, and it begins to like slowly creep across, sort of the ridge. So I get my phone out, I start videoing, I'm zooming in on it, and when you zoom in on it, it looks, just basically like a plasma ball. I don't know how else to explain it. Definitely not. It was going slower than a plane would, though. It's very weird.
This is very frustrating to me because I've never had an issue where it's not pulling up for me, and I don't know why. And I went back to the email right then, and it's completely erased from my email now. Perfect.
Well, we can just go in order. If you want to hit the commentary from the president on drones from this week.
Which link is it? I have it saved here.
If you go into the actual email, they're just literally in order.
Okay. Or
I can try to get it pulled up real quick if you're having trouble.
Yeah, apparently I'm having troubles tonight. This is
sorry. You're good. I just know normally you got them ready to go.
Yeah.
Let me see if
You're
I can
having a Scott Baker moment that the government's listening to you.
That's what I believe is happening.
Let me see if I can share with audio.
It's very frustrating right now.
You all tell me if you can hear this. Okay. Can you hear that? Good.
For a second, yeah, maybe.
Nothing nefarious, apparently, but they're checking it all out. I think it's just one. There's a lot of drones authorized. I think one started and they all got it. Everybody wanted to get in the deal. We're following it closely. So far, no sense of the danger.
Will you speak to Prime Minister Netanyahu about a ceasefire deal in the next month?
I've spoken to him.
And that's pretty much it from him on what's going on. It was a very brief mention that there are authorized drones, like that there's nothing really strange going on. I don't know.
Nothing to be scared of.
Yeah. And then in the same time frame, and this, yeah, Linda, it was hard to hear. Let me see if I can get this one going.
He said something
Alan?
like,
My bad.
he said something like, these things aren't nefarious.
Yes, yeah, that's close. So this one, I don't think I can full screen. It's just some of these are TikToks, but let me share again.
Briefing. If these are just hobbyist drones, they're not military drones. Why is it a classified briefing on the camera?
I don't. I'd have to refer to Congress on that. Again, sharing as much information as we can here. I don't have the briefing in front of me, so I can't tell you specifically, what aspects are classified or not. I can assure you, though, that again, we are sharing as much information as we can.
Do you believe that?
My issue with hobbyist drones is they don't know where they're coming from yet. If there are hundreds of these things across the United States that are the size of SUVs, I feel like you would eventually cross over somebody, like a group of people in a parking lot setting these things off,
Right.
Like,
yeah. Well, also at the end, he's like, everything we know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you really believe that though? Like, I don't know.
Well, I think it was one of you that sent a video this week where it looks like one shooting. Was that one of you?
Yeah. I've got it in here. I've got it in here.
Then
Well,
ignore me.
There's one video of that one of these orbs, kind of like what Tully has a picture of, and but it like disables one and it falls to the ground.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've got that one in. I've got that one in the mix. There's one where it's a plasma ball that appears to disable a drone.
Mm-hmm.
And we criticize all mainstream news on this channel. So any of we usually run the gambit when we're pulling pieces to talk about. So we don't really pick and choose when it comes to partisanal stuff because we don't give a shit about politics here.
No.
But let me get this one queued up. I just wanted to hit the Iranian mothership thing real quick.
Go ahead.
Because to me, that's just like, that would be like saying that the North Korean dude has a mothership that he landed somewhere.
I don't know. I've listened to him and seen him. He may be from another planet.
Okay. Let's.
In focus now, Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey, member of the House Judiciary Committee on the Hill right now. How do you address this at this point?
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee. I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this.
So I have a problem with that. Like I have a big problem with that. And I also have a video of a dude talking about the same problem. But if you think about the air defense system that Israel has, I mean, we've all seen that in action. But the United States basically set that up for them. Like we have probably the highest tech detection system on the planet. And I just struggle with that Iran has a mothership off our coast that's running drones.
What we don't have pictures of.
Yeah, well, what keeps it powered? I mean, it's been up there for weeks. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't like. I guess it's solar powered. I don't know.
It's solar.
Yeah, but I mean, they are obviously some kind of earthly drone if you look at them at first glance because they have all the regulation lights. They look like drones, but I've also seen videos of some that look like they were shape shifting. maybe it's like, I don't know, like in the back of my head, I feel like it's some kind of encounter to where they're making it look like something that we can understand.
Maybe.
Like if you think back into the ancient times, they called what we would perceive as UFOs chariots of fire, or in certain paintings you see them and they look like just metallic things with spikes all over them, like from Renaissance areas.
No, I hear you.
So we comprehend things that we see as things that we already know about most of the time.
So instead of causing all out fear and terror, they're trying to give us something that we can connect to or relate to.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're back to the same, like this is just a follow-up to the same thing. And speaking of shapeshifter, her eyes are crazy. But let me,
I think they're purty.
So here's where they say then that there is no Iranian mothership.
Pentagon, because they are briefing on this right now.
Coming from a foreign entity or adversary?
Representative Jeff Van Drew, who is a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the coast of the east coast of the United States. Is there any truth to that?
There is not any truth to that. There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States. Phil.
Just a few questions really quick on Syria.
So that was that regarding the Iranian mothership.
Alan made a good point, and I didn't even think about it when I said if there is a mothership, how are they powering it? Nuclear power, of course. Good call, Alan. But that does kind of lay credence into it, because hasn't there been elevated radiation in the New Jersey area and things of that nature? Because
yes. So another popular theory this week, or over the last 2 weeks, was that these drones are searching for radioactive areas, because there was a report that came out. And actually, if you go to nrc.gov, there was an event logged that there was radioactive material missing in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So there's a theory that these drones were looking for that missing radioactive material. The problem is exactly what the radioactive material was. It was like a lower class. It was like a component for a medical device.
And another issue with it is they're everywhere. They're in Kentucky. Why are they in Kentucky? They're literally everywhere.
Yes.
So if they're looking for nuclear waste that's missing in New Jersey, I guess they could decide they need to scan the whole nation. But they've been seen, in Kentucky, Ohio, Texas. They've been seen in Arizona. They've been seen everywhere.
So this guy actually debunks the theory that these things are looking for radiation, and there's his handle if you want to go check out the video after the show, or his channel.
Just confirmed that John Ferguson is right. They are looking for missing nuclear radiation material from a train. And here is that report citing that the material went missing December 2nd. Never mind that the drone started appearing over New Jersey on November 18th. Nope, that's not important, just semantics. Or the report cites that the item is less than an IAEA Category 3. Never mind that if somebody comes in contact with the item, they don't have to maintain close contact for a long period of time in order to suffer radiation poisoning. Because that's what a Category 3 level of radioactive material means. And never mind that item is a piece of medical equipment used in PET scans. Never mind that we have a nuclear emergency support team to react to real nuclear events. Never mind that the Department of Homeland Security has a whole list of teams to tap in case we need to look for an actual nuclear threat. Never mind that the Department of Homeland Security has 56,000 radiation detection centers deployed throughout the United States in all of our major metropolitan areas and are tied to all of our state and local police forces. Instead, we'll deploy drones under the cover of darkness equipped with highly sensitive radiation detection equipment, where the willfully ignorant will confidently state with their whole chest that the reason why these sensors have to be deployed at night is because they can't account for the sun's radiation, despite the fact that they are calibrated to account for the sun's radiation. And the reason why I know this, despite the fact that I read, was because NEST was deployed to Japan for Operation Tomodachi to respond to the earthquake in 2011 that ruptured their nuclear facility. And I happened to be there, stationed at Okinawa, Japan, in support of this operation. So if you haven't caught on by now, this is not the reason. They are not on the hunt for nuclear material. Stop falling for the BS conspiracies and instead Google this. You might.
What's his handle? What was his name?
The handle is that Intel guy.
That Intel guy. That's a good one.
Yeah. So he basically, destroyed the theory that it's just something looking for radiation.
And Steven's popped in. Hi, Steven. And he says he's saying that there's videos from Arkansas. So these are literally across the United States. I just don't buy it being hobbyist.
Well, and here's one I have, because everything you're hearing about for the most part is Jersey. You hear, oh yeah, well, we had one in this state, we had one in that state. But according to the FAA, there have been 49 reported in Jersey. There have been 116 in New York, and I've heard very little about New York.
Yeah.
And you would think that there would be more coverage of the other places they're showing up, especially if there are more than they have reported in Jersey.
Yeah. Well, another thing it's not UFOs. So this isn't a UFO video, but I personally think it could be related. Somebody recorded this week that I wanted to share. Look at these bird patterns.
What the hell?
Oh, wow.
Can you full screen that?
No.
Oh.
No.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, I can. Hang on. There you go.
It didn't do much, but that works. What in the world, man? That looks like they're forming cracks.
Yeah, so electromagnetic activity is what I'm thinking.
It has to be, right? Like something throwing off their internal navigation or something. That's definitely not the Mighty Ducks V. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Wow.
Or even when you see big flocks, they're still either a pretty uniform grouping. They're not all over the place like that.
Yeah.
Well, to add, New York has taken action. Even though nobody knows where this is coming from, they don't know if they're coming from an Iranian mothership. They don't know if they're coming from hobbyists at Kroger parking lot. They don't know anything about them. New York has implemented dozens of more bans today on these drones. So, these bans are going to stop it for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That was another thing that somebody brought up that, these things appear to honor FAA airspace.
Yeah.
So if it were aliens, why would they abide by FAA rules or, any bans that come into play?
Well, I'm not necessarily in believing they're aliens. I don't know. They could be some form of weird.
Everybody's forgetting that they just said that there's aliens in the ocean or non-humans in the ocean, another advanced civilization.
Yeah. Well,
I call it shit.
Yeah.
But if it was an alien life form or a non-human biologic that's operating all these things, then it could very well be, that they're not violating airspace because they don't want to cause massive accidents, which would occur. Another thing that I haven't heard this theory thrown around much. It may have been, I just may not have seen it. This could be OpenAI that we were talking about earlier that has infiltrated drone systems.
That's a cool theory. That's a scary thought, but that's a theory that hasn't came up that I've heard. Because they did release, or they're in the middle of releasing this month, I believe, GPT-5. And then you had the whistleblower that died unexpectedly.
Yeah.
So here is the one that we were talking about earlier, where it appears that a orb disables a drone. I'm going to try to get through as many of these as possible before our time is up.
Yo, I'm about to show you is a drone
I love this guy.
into an orb, and then it disables the drone, and the drone falls out of the sky. The way you record, you don't know how to record like Super Boomer style.
This guy was made 10 years ago.
Boom, here we go. So this thing is zipping across the sky right here. Phoenix, Arizona, December 14th, dude. Watch. It's like, oh, snap. I'm a freaking drone. I see an orb I'm like, look how fast this thing goes. Check this out. So it comes up to it, it touches it. Drone doing what a drone does, orb doing what an orb does. Dog, what? What are you kidding? What?
That was top tier commentary.
That guy's awesome.
I like that, Landa.
But yeah, that one was kind of weird. The next two are not as funny. This one is a drone that is appearing to either beam something or spraying something. So this was kind of creepy. Let me get the screen back up here.
Look at this motherfucker. Look at his frame. Look at that. Look at that. He is spraying the sky again. Oh, this is fucking crazy, man. Look at this guy.
Chemtrails.
Are they spraying though, or is that light?
I don't know. That's what I was going to ask you guys.
If you're just listening, it's a drone that's hovering and there's a direct beam going straight to the ground. This guy's saying that they're spraying something, but I can't really tell if they're spraying.
Yeah,
It almost looks like it's coming from the ground.
It really does.
Yeah, like a searchlight or something.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Huh. And who was that?
That was UFO Videos TK on TikTok posted that one.
Trying to snag a cow.
Well, yeah, that was my other thing. Is like, is it spraying something or is it trying to beam something up? This next one is a submitted video, or not a submitted video. Sorry, handle is Melody KXO. I'm assuming somebody submitted this video to her if she didn't take it herself. Let me see. I think she says in the video here.
The drones started shooting last night.
So tracer rounds coming from a drone.
That thing is completely stationary shooting.
What is it shooting?
It looks like bullets.
No, I mean, what's on the other end of the rainbow? You know what I'm saying?
Boy, that shit dropping on Earth, nigga. Whoa.
Oh wow.
Nah. Hey, bro, it's gonna start shaking.
Some of this
That might be
stuff
a plane, fool.
could be
That might be
edited.
a plane, gang.
It could be.
Boy, y'all, what the?
Hell, one video looks like a literal portal. It just opens up and then morphs into the drone plane thing.
See, I wasn't sure about.
Yeah, I struggle with this, but also I took a picture myself the other day that looks weird. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And see, that's the thing, though. When you do it, I trust you.
I know this isn't going to be the most efficient way, but it's still not popping up on anything, and it's still not letting me email it to myself. But this is the zoomed out picture that totally took, if you can see it on my telephone.
Mm-hmm.
And let me swipe and make sure there's no dick pics or anything. Right here is.
I appreciate that.
You can't really see the zoomed up on this, but right here, if I can get it like this.
Well, you
see.
had it just a hair of a tilt, and there you go. Now you can see like rings.
Yeah, so
Okay,
the orb looked weird. But this next one is kind of the ultimate video on why our government does know what's going on. So I wanted to share this.
Global persistent infrared surveillance continues to be a critical national security space mission. The Cold War focus on strategic ICBM systems has expanded to include short and mid-range ballistic missile threats. The Defense Support Program maintains the legacy Cold War monitoring to warn of ICBM missile launches against the U.S. The replacement program is the Space-Based Infrared System, or SBIRS, which has already provided 2 infrared sensor payloads in highly elliptical orbits, or HEO. The SBIRS program is also deploying multiple spacecraft into geosynchronous Earth orbit, or GEO. Each has 2 independent infrared sensors. One is a scanner dedicated to missile warning with full Earth monitoring. The other sensor is a taskable starer that can focus on selected regions. Each pair of sensors acts simultaneously and independently of each other, providing a robust, taskable infrared platform. SBIRS is the nation's next generation of space-based infrared surveillance. The program has already proven its value with successful HEO payloads on orbit. With deployment of the GEO spacecraft, SBIRS will be an unprecedented resource as the nation's global, taskable, and persistent infrared monitoring sentinel.
So if we have an infrared monitoring system and they can focus it on things, why haven't they focused it where all of these sightings are going on?
True. I don't know. Like that's one of the things, man. This is such a strange situation because by all rights, I mean, I can understand a group of hobbyists having these drones and things and flying them around. I mean, they make drones that are huge. People
I don't know any hobbyists that have ones that are the size of a car, though.
They do though, because you know they got those ones where people can strap on now and fly.
Yeah.
But for there to be so many, and nobody knows the origin of them, it's really insane. Like they should, since November 18th, it's been over a month. They should have tracked this down to where it's coming at, because even if it is just hobbyists, with the frequency of these things being sighted across the nation, and like the cluster that's in New Jersey and New York, I mean, it could pose a potential threat. It doesn't seem like they're struggling hard enough to find the origin of where they're coming at. Like,
yeah, that there was also another video on Twitter. Drones. I'm sure there's certain drones that can go up to 30,000 feet. But check this out. This is from a commercial flight, I believe. And this will probably be the last one we'll be able to share tonight. But let me share again. Check these orbs out.
Oh, wow.
I mean, those look like stars up in the sky.
Yeah.
You know what that is? Ball lightning.
Ball lightning, yeah.
I was thinking angels.
Well, you know, hobbyist drones, I do not believe can go up to 30,000 feet.
Not that I know of. And the cost of one of these things, man, it'd have to be up in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like,
yeah. I think they can probably explain away like drones. I don't think they can explain very easily these plasma balls or the other things that people are seeing on a nightly basis.
I mean, it could be a twofold, like, because everywhere you see these drones, you see these balls that look like portals. Maybe it is some kind of government project to.
It's swamp gas. Yeah.
But maybe it is some kind of government
Please
project.
look right here.
Like for instance, that Stone dude. He showed the video where one of the drones went into one of those balls and it fell to earth. Maybe it could potentially be the government trying to figure out what the hell these portals are, these little balls.
Maybe.
You know? Like, because I haven't seen one instance where there's drone footage and somewhere in the area there's not one of these strange cylindrical portal looking things.
We have like 8 more videos from the last week or so. Maybe we're supposed to have a guest tomorrow night, and we're hoping that he's able to make it. He is a biblical expert as well as a UFO researcher. He is ex-FBI. He had above top secret clearance and claims that he was a part of some of these projects during his time with above top secret clearance. His name is Stan Deo. Mm-hmm. If he's not able to make it tomorrow, we're still going to do a show at 8 Eastern, regardless of whether Stan's able to make it or not. If he's not able to make it, I'll save these other 8 videos and we'll play them tomorrow.
Yeah.
And talk about it some more, because I think we could, talk through this a lot more honestly than what we have time for tonight.
100%. And if you have anything you want us to review, we typically do news articles. If you find something strange you want us to cover on a Friday night, we're live every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can email WITF@gmx.com. I've dropped that in the chat. I don't know where all that goes to. We won't click any links. But if you give a good description of what it is, I'll find it. I did click the link tonight because it was Easy Mac. I was like, I trust him. But what are you guys covering tonight on Weird Awakenings?
It's a free for all. You should come.
Yes, you should.
I'm not pre-trained.
It's a
Neither
free
are
for
we.
all.
It's a free for all.
I did see something strange. Since we couldn't get Tully's stuff pulled up, I seen a dog driving a soul up. If anybody wants to see that, I snapped that picture myself. It's a strange occurrence. These are the non-human biologics they're talking about that's taking over.
Mo has a red soul. I'm wondering, if he's picking up women.
What time are we running tomorrow? Are we doing 7 Eastern or 8?
8 p.m. Eastern.
8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. So tune in. Watch Weird Awakenings in about 13 minutes at the top of the hour on Weird Realities Network. And that's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. That's also live. So come over and join in. And if you got anything that you want to cover, I'm sure they'll be happy to send you the link. It's a free for all.
Yeah, it's a free for all. And it also, if you're watching out there and you've been listening and you enjoy the show, follow us, give us a follow so that you get notifications. Our main social media is Twitter.
Social media is Twitter. So that about does it. Anything else from you all?
That's it.
Now, everybody have a wonderful holiday, no matter how you celebrate it, or if you don't, just have a great week.
Absolutely. And thank you for watching us, because we are watching you.
Boom.